Rock and roll. Good morning. Oh my goodness. I hope I got your attention with that many notes. And this of course is Paul Gilbert. And I want to tell you about a brand new pedal by Pigtronics. I've had it on this whole time. It's the Philosopher's Tone Micro. It's a compressor. Let me say that again. I said that too fast. The Philosopher's Tone Micro by Pigtronics. It's a compressor and it's really cool. And let me show you what it does. It makes everything easier. I like it when things are easier. And what am I talking about? Well, it makes all the quiet parts of your playing louder and more upfront. So whether you're playing clean or distorted, you don't have to hit quite as hard. Now, I like to hit hard anyway, a lot of the time. But sometimes, especially if I'm doing legato stuff, it's just plain, it's a quieter technique. It's not as loud as picking, so it'll bring that stuff up and make it, bring it right to the front. And you can be competitive with your picking stuff. It just evens everything out in a nice way. So let's listen to it rather than listen to me talk. I'm going to turn off, because I've got a distortion pedal on, as you may have guessed. I'm going to turn that off so we can just hear the difference between the, actually I'm going to turn everything off. So here's just my dry sound. I've got a little delay on there. It's a mysterious delay pedal. I don't know what this is. The Josh Rand from Stone Sour gave it to me. It's really cool. But anyway, it's pretty subtle. There's my clean tone. Very clean. Now I'm going to turn on the compressor. I've got it boosted up a little, so it's a little bit louder. But if I hit the strings really hard, not a huge world of difference. But check this out. Now I'm going to play real quiet. You can barely hear it. But if I hit the compressor on, the Philosopher's Tone, woo, that's a big difference. So you can see the quiet stuff is affected a lot more than the loud stuff. The loud stuff is pretty much the same. If I just like, you hear a little bit of difference, but that's kind of a massive difference. So it really takes that quiet stuff and brings it up. Now, let's try something. Because the way I've used compressors a lot in the past is for clean stuff. So I've got like a Mr. Big song. What's that one? I do this crazy tuning for it. I turn on my chorus. And then we've got something like this. I'm going to actually put a quieter pickup setting on. Without the compressor, without the Philosopher's Tone, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to. Nobody will hear that. That just disappears. So I need the compressor to boost that up. Now, right there, I was using the middle pickup, which I've got lowered way down into the guitar. I have to do that because it gets in the way of my pick. And but it's a nice tone. It's just not loud enough, and so the compressor takes those not loud enough tones, whether it be because you're playing quiet or because you've got a quiet pickup, and it brings them up right up to be competitive with your louder pickup. And that allows you to use all those different tones. If you've got a guitar with single coils or tapping positions on the 5-way switch, and a lot of times you just can't use them because they're not loud enough. This is your solution. Now that's for clean tone. Let's go over to the distorted tone. And what happens there is it's something that you might not hear as much as I feel. Because what it does, it sort of takes everything that happens after you attack a note and brings it up. It just makes it sustain more. It's sort of a sustained machine. So again, let me play it without the compressor first. So it's a nice tone with some sustain, but if I turn it on, I don't know if you noticed that, but my guitar face got more intense because I can just feel it, you know. Oh, now if I turn it off, well, where did it go? It disappeared. Now it's back. And so it really it brings up the stuff that happens after you attack the note. The attack note is pretty close, but it's the quieter stuff that gets pulled up. And so again, I've got it off right now. But if I just play kind of quiet, put the compressor, huge difference. And again, if you want to get those tones out of your guitar that you might not have been able to use otherwise, for example, let me put on. I really like the sound of this neck pickup, and as a lot of single coily kind of guitars do, this one has a capacitor. So when you turn the volume knob down, it takes away, it rolls off the low end a little bit, gets a little bit, it's more sparkly, but it's also way too quiet to use in a regular setting. You know, for example, that's just not going to come through. Put on the compressor. I've got my guitar. You probably noticed that before I did. There we go. Now let's try it. I couldn't hear it because it was too quiet. Now with the compressor, I can hear it. So I can get that twangy tone that sounds really cool when I've got the guitar's volume on about 2 or 3. Without the compressor. It's a nice tone, but it's just not. It's not coming through enough. It's not beefy enough. Turn on the compressor. Now it's competitive with the with the louder pickup. That's without the compressor. Let's turn on the compressor. We might as well hear it, full blast too. Now, I'm pretty quiet in this room right now, so I'm not taking advantage of like feedback, and it's really giving me the same kind of feel that I would get if, I'm at stadium rock drum set level. So that's the Philosopher's Tone, and I think I promised you my settings, whether I did or I didn't, I'm going to give them to you. There's 4 knobs on this pedal, and the volume, I've got it on, should we call it 9? Take 2 with the knob settings. I'm just going to show you. There it is. Those are my secret settings. I spent about half an hour messing around, and that seemed like the settings that really rocked my world and worked great for both clean and distorted sounds. So they're there for you to steal. And thank you, Pigtronics, for supporting my Great Guitar Escape Camp coming up this July. I'll have my Philosopher's Tone pedal there to rock and have a great time at the Cambria Pines Lodge, end of July sometime. As it gets closer, we'll figure out the dates. All right, thank you very much. This is Paul Gilbert. Rock and roll!